And good Thursday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we get ready for another way to put it, hot day. 101 is expected on the regular temperature side, and we'll climb to somewhere between 105 to 110 before it's all said and done. They're predicting the Meridian area to be 105, 106s. Never can tell. West of here, maybe a little bit worse. We'll look at the pics from the National Weather Service and divide that up and show you exactly what it's going to be doing today. How are you? I hope good as we begin this day. Don't forget to tune in this morning beginning at 8 a.m. Michael Cassidy will be here, who's running for office. Maybe you've got a question. Maybe you're a supporter. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're unclear. We'll see what he has to say. And if you've got a question, make sure to post it, and we'll do our very best to answer as many questions as we can this morning. Very important race that is coming up, and as I've urged everybody, know who you're voting for, do a little homework on them, and let's see what this man's got to say today. There's a lot of mail. Who's gone to their mailbox lately? Somebody doesn't like him, do they? Caused a little wave. We'll find out from him what's going on, what the fuss is about. Mailboxes are full of those. Every other breath. We'll find out. All that's on the way this morning beginning at 8 as we'll talk to him. Hope you'll join us. Well, as we begin today, another great day in store for us. Let's recap a few things. Overall, we give our city a C+ overnight. Nothing major that we're aware of this morning. I have gotten a couple notes. If you live in the Collinsville area, Lake Ross Collins area, check your cameras. Might have had a couple people walking through, just seeing what you might have had in your car. Don't know of any actual thing that was taken, but probably could be. So check those if you live in those areas there. We go to Clark County Hot Topics. This just doesn't make a lot of people happy that live in Clark County. This is from Stonewall. And let me pull this up where you can take a look at this. You live in the Stonewall area? Only store around. Yep, that'd be it. The Dollar General store. They're open from 7 to 11, and they're not going to open back up until 6:30 to 9:30. So if you got to have something in Stonewall, your hours have been slashed. And as y'all know as well as I do, Americans complain about this every day. It started out like a really, really great store as a whole, not just that store. And then lately it seems that products are laying in the floor and they never make it to the shelves. Lack of employees or whatever the case is. I hear a lot of folks saying they wish Chick-fil-A would buy it and take over the management of it. Do some more training, customer satisfaction. Eventually this will hurt them. As a store overall, as they grow and grow, you can't remember what put you to where you are. Fast, clean, you don't have to step over things. But we see it in most all of them. There are a few stores that are the exception to that. But I think everybody would agree that there's a issue there. Yesterday, we had a fender bender as we go to sammedia.network. This was out in 8th Street, College Park area. I don't know if you had a chance to see this. Little fender bender there as it escalated there. That was a pretty good lick. As we look at these pictures here, that's a pretty good view of what went on there. Wow. I don't think anybody was seriously hurt, but still, it didn't feel good regardless there. Again, that was in the College Park area yesterday as we look at things going on. Things got a little bit more serious as the day progressed as we found out I-20. Of course, this causes traffic backups whenever you have an issue there, but mile marker 165 is where this all went on. And let's pull up the picture so you can get a good look at this. 18-wheeler overturned. Well, look at that. Kenworth on its side there. And most likely what happened with this is it took the curve too quick, and it just flopped it over, is most likely what happened with that. I think the driver was okay. That's the good news, but that was a heavy load there. That looks to be a track off a track hoe is what that looks to be. Heavy, heavy stuff there, but it did flipped it right over on its side, and again, fortunately, nobody was hurt in that. And that's the good news as we look at that from yesterday. We wonder where it is. That's right there at the Kewanee One stop. As the Mississippi Highway Patrol, Lima, and the whole 9 yards showed up when something overturns like this to make sure everything is okay. But a scary situation. I'm telling you, that'd probably be like being on the back of a bull for 8 seconds in slow motion as an 18-wheeler would overturn. That's what I think. Glad. But at the end of the day, we're glad everybody is okay. We did have some reports of somebody breaking into cars in the Meridian area overnight. And this would be west of 45 and east of Highway 39. As we take a look at this, as we go to the map here, this is where this would be in the Valley Ridge apartment area. As you zoom in on this, this would be off Lazia Road. Here's Dale Drive, right here in the Marion area, just north of here, right along in there. Don't know what they got, but that's coming in. As we mentioned also out in Collinsville, make sure to check those areas. People just don't want to work anymore, do they? They want it the easy way. We're tired of it. Install cameras if you don't. At least get a picture. And I know that I've had the argument from people, well, that's not going to solve it. But it does give you a good indication as to who was there and what time they did it. It narrows it down. It doesn't solve the crime always, but it's a big deterrent. Doesn't hurt to post that. You've seen it before. Security cameras in progress. Post that in your yard. Sometimes that deters thieves from doing what they do. As we go to our next story, I was downtown and I heard that this was going to take place. And as we dug deeper into this and sent out a message to get the rest of the details, we go back to sammedia.net, where 2 former employees of Lauderdale County have been sentenced to jail for their portion of embezzlement. Jerry Morgan was sentenced to 5 years plus $237,914.41 in restitution, plus an additional $8,000 fine once he is freed from prison for his part in the stealing of fuel. And what they were doing was taking fuel and reselling it, charging it to the county. Also, Charles Houston was sentenced to 3 years. Plus, he'll have to repay $22,125.68 to Lauderdale County in restitution. He also has $8,000 in fines and fees. He was charged with 1 count of embezzlement. And you can go to sammedia.net and pull up both of these stories to read this and pull up their arrest report if you'd like to read more about that. But that happened. And hopefully, as I spoke with Rush yesterday, they've got a new system in place now to where this cannot happen again. And that would be good. The taxpayers is who that costs, which makes our land taxes, our houses, and all this stuff so much higher. Embezzlement, never a good thing. That's a lot of money. Well, that's active this morning, isn't it? As we look to, as we say goodbye to someone yesterday, I don't know if you had a chance to view the video, take a look at the pictures. As Lauderdale Countyans and the Sheriff's Department, many officers joined at the Lauderdale County Courthouse yesterday. I got there as quickly as I could. As we pull up this, and this is the scene, as you can go watch the video, and we'll look at a few of these pictures, as they gathered to pay their last respects to K-9 Officer Rex. Bless his heart, he worked for the county for 15 years. The sheriff was there, and he gave a speech. He gave a flag, and as we look at this, and they had a funeral procession as they left, and this is Rex. They do work hard, and you get so attached to your pets. And a part of Lauderdale County for 15 years. It's a sad day that we lose something like that, but full respects was paid yesterday. So I hope you had a chance to watch that. If you haven't, go back. We'll share a little bit of the video coming up at 8 o'clock this morning to show you how it was done. It was very respectful. I enjoyed it there. As we look to Jackson, Mississippi, we talked about the Jackson area. We talked about this yesterday morning. Over in Clinton, Mississippi, an infant was found dead. Now, as we dig deeper into this, the mother now has been arrested. An autopsy has been ordered on the infant, and it looks to be as if somehow or another in a bed the child was smothered some shape, form, or way. That's not 100%. Waiting for the autopsy report on this, but this isn't the first time, her first brush with law enforcement over children. She before has had the Mississippi, and I'm not thinking of the exact word, the agency that comes and checks on children. It'll come to me in a minute. I'm blank at the moment, but they paid her a visit before. She has another child that they have removed and given to a grandmother while this investigation is going on. Mississippi Child Services, I think, is the name of that. Horrible that a child would lose its life. Vicksburg still busy as they arrested a woman for embezzlement and false reporting of a crime. They stay busy over there. Of course, they're one of the biggest portions of the state right now. CPS, thanks, Les. As Vicksburg is really, really pushing parents to take care of their children. It is your responsibility as a parent, not the government, not the school, not the police. It is you, and as they're handing out those tickets, and they're expanding this to make sure that your child is at home and not into trouble after 11 o'clock at night. A lot goes on over in Vicksburg. So bad right now, and this is why I bring this up. A 15-year-old is wanted for robbery of a store in Vicksburg. 15 years old. You should be doing something else. Riding a bicycle, playing basketball, football, anything, but robbing stores. And as we all know, do I know that this is a part of a gang? I do not. But we all know that we'd sit here and be lying to each other if we don't think that they start very early with gangs, putting people in, teaching them how to break the law and do criminal things. We hope this gets better. This came out yesterday, and if you'll remember this has been 2-3 years now, 2019. As we all know, being in law enforcement, it is not the most, you're not going to get rich. There's not a single person that is strapping on a vest right now or headed to a correctional facility that does it for money. It's a calling, we have to say. And I know so many state troopers that do two jobs. They'll be a trooper, and whether they paint houses or they have a lawn care service, they do many different things. And as we go back to 2019, a trooper was on his second job, worked for the post office, delivering packages. His post office truck broke down. He was on the side of the road. It seemed like it was around 4 a.m. A man came up, pulled up behind him, and killed him. Y'all remember that? Well, they've passed sentencing on this, and you be the judge of what you think. A Natchez man that was accused of killing the off-duty state trooper, Lieutenant Troy Morris, was convicted in the case. Damian Whitley was sentenced to 40 years in custody at the Mississippi Department of Corrections. Prosecutors say that he will serve 30 years with no parole eligibility. He'll have to wait 30 years. This happened on August 7th of 2020 when his body was found. I knew it was 19 or 20, but it was 20 when that happened, so it's been 2 years. 30 years. I would have thought this would have stepped up and been a little bit more serious capital punishment involved with that. That's what I would have thought, but that was not the judgment. I don't know the story behind it, but was that enough? That trooper will never be back. His family members lost someone. His loved ones lost someone. We'll go to Hancock County next for a big story as we look at this. A deputy has resigned. He was arrested for assault. He resigned before it all went down. He knew it was coming. Can't have that in law enforcement, can we? Let's see here. When you rob a place, and I guess you're criminals, maybe you just, I guess you're not smart to begin with, are you? Maybe not. That's why you end up being a criminal. Pearl, as we go to South Mississippi, over to Jackson area, a Wendy's was robbed. Now, as you've all been into a Wendy's before, or a fast food chain, there's not a lot of cash laying around anymore. We all know that. Most people use their cards. But he'll go to jail for taking a little bit of money. They've caught him robbing a Wendy's. I can only shake my head on some of these stories. North Mississippi, I don't know how y'all feel about this. We have a lot of people that watch from different areas of the state, not only from the East Mississippi side, but all over the state of Mississippi. TVA, which transports the power into Mississippi. And this was put out yesterday for folks. You're used to hearing this out west, not in Mississippi, Alabama, or Tennessee, but they're urging North Mississippians to watch how much power they use. I'll wait. It'll be all over the state before it's over. But they suggested, and remember what we're running, 101, 102, 105 in most areas. TVA was suggesting that you turn your air up to 78 degrees. Don't use your stove. Go outside and cook something on a grill if you want to eat to conserve energy so there won't be a blackout. Yeah, this is going to go over really well in Mississippi. We like to eat and we like to be cool while we do it. 105 going out in the middle of the day to whoop up a hamburger probably isn't in many Mississippians' plans. Not sure, and there's no way to tell how many people abided by this. These blackouts, and I keep hearing more and more about it, don't y'all? As Peggy Joyner says, she doesn't feel that was enough for the gentleman that killed the state trooper. And again, it was not in the line of duty, but it doesn't matter. It could have been you. And you think about that, your car breaking down before daylight, somebody pulling over, it looks like they're going to help you, and then they killed him. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Not many details on this as we go to Gulfport. The Sun Herald is reporting that one person is dead, one person in critical condition after a shooting in Gulfport. No arrests have been made, and not many details are being told on this. The man died at the scene. A woman was taken to the hospital. They're investigating it. When we know more about that, we'll share that news with you as we look at this news across the state. Now, the next thing, as we look at gun laws, all of this is before Congress and getting voted on. Wicker and Hyde Smith, she's got the hyphenated name. Y'all remember the lady? I think she was appointed originally, and then she ran for office and was reelected. They've both voted no on moving the gun compromise forward. So you keep up with who does what. There's a lot in this bill I don't think a lot of people know of what's really hidden in there. I think it would give some of the red flag laws some legs to stand on. We don't know enough about that. We'll watch this. It does put in there, resolves one of the hurdles that was put in there to where domestic violence, even if you're not married to the victims, it would prohibit you from getting a firearm. If you've been convicted of some type of domestic violence, you wouldn't be able to purchase a gun. Maybe that would save lives. Not saying that that's not a good thing. We need to know what's in the rest of that thing. So many times they produce bills in Washington. Y'all know this. I'm not telling you anything that's not new. They'll come up with a bill, and the original bill is a great idea. They just tack along 50 other things that have nothing to do with that issue. Don't you wish there was a way that a lawmaker in the United States couldn't attach other things? It was one and only one. All these compromises behind the scenes that go, well, if you'll do this, you give me $50 million for this, we'll just tack it on to that. It bothers me. It should be, in my opinion, and I'm not a lawmaker, I don't know much. One thing at a time. That way no one's caught off guard. No one gets used and abused. That's just my thoughts. You may see that differently as we look at headlines there. And again, I'm not a lawmaker. I don't know all of this that goes on with all of that. So bad in the United States that we're now having to ask Mexico for baby formula. Baby formula is being imported to the United States, still not fixed. Did you ever think you'd wake up in the United States? Honestly, I grew up as a kid. I was 9, 10 years old during the 70s. I got into my teenage years in the 80s, and never did I think that there would be a shortage of anything in the United States. Why? Because we were able to make anything we wanted. Then along come Bill Clinton in the 90s, and this little bill was signed called NAFTA. And everybody shut down, and small-town America went away. Why? All the manufacturing companies shut down. Anything that was made in America was turned off. It moved to Mexico. America was hurt. One of the most devastating things that ever happened to us. We're still not recovered from that. We don't make our own medicine. We don't make hardly anything here. If something bad were to happen, it would take us years to rebuild and get manufacturing plants. Bothers me to no degree. You think about that. If something bad were to happen, we couldn't get medicine to our citizens, all because of the almighty dollar, of making more money, sending it overseas to get it made cheaper. It used to be a thing to where if the American worker made it, it was the finest product made on this earth. It's not the case anymore, is it? No one takes pride in anything they do. They don't take pride in things that they sign their name to. And I've always agreed to that. If you sign your name to something, make sure you're proud of it. Not everybody agrees with me, I know. Because I look around, it's not happening. That's why I say that. Let's hope a movement comes back to where we do get that way in America. My small 2 cents on that. Maybe you agree with that. Ralph says political corruption has destroyed the integrity of our great nation. It has. Jeremiah Johnson says we need term limits. Boy, is that a great statement. People go to Washington and stay there 40 years. What do? Nothing. Now, there's no secret whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. A lot of times they'll leave home with good intentions. They get there and they get corrupted. After that, they don't do anything for you. They kind of forget where they come from. That bothers me. And it should you too. I think we do need term limits. You get into that Senate, and well, the further up you go into Congress. I know it's Congress to where they get lifelong benefits. For the rest of America, they can't even afford to get their medicine, but them, they get it all free. While the working man tries to make it off that little bitty Social Security check. And hardly anybody, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, even has a such thing as a pension program anymore. You might get a 401k that the company barely can afford to put 1% matching anymore. It's going to be bad one day as this next generation gets ready to retire. It's already bad for the folks that live on these limited incomes. You think about this. I know I'm going off on a limb here, but you get X amount of dollars. Say it's $780 a month that you get from Social Security. Maybe you're lucky and you get more. Maybe you get $2,000. As gas goes up, well, your Social Security check doesn't get any bigger, does it? As groceries go up, you don't get any more. And you have to figure out how to balance. And now we have a crew across America that doesn't want to go to work. There were jobs. I'm afraid one day that those jobs will disappear. Well, as we looked at Dollar General a minute ago down there to where they're having to shut down in between hours, that's going to hurt their bottom line because they're not there to sell you what you need. Somebody needs to take charge of America and take over it pretty quick, I think. And how do we start this on a local level? Make sure you vote. And again, let me remind you to join us at 8 o'clock. We'll hear what this young man's got to say that's running for Senate. We'll find out more about that. Well, we got weather next. We've kind of rambled on this morning, but let's get into weather next and let you know what to expect today. That's all on the way here as we begin this gorgeous day. Hope you're having a great day.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
It's just as important for a family to have their yard mowed before a birthday party as it is for someone to get hay out of the field before rain comes. They're both that important to us.
Dealing with Parish is not just a product, it's the people that are there to help you. They're kind of like family, and it's just kind of like having another partner out here on my land.
We check in on Meridian Honda radar, and we show that South Mississippi is going to be a little bit warmer from the Jackson, Mississippi, and northward motion. Biloxi, those areas there, it's going to be extremely hot. As we look around through this, Georgia, Dublin, Macon, Georgia, going to be hotter than that. Up the East Coast we go. Norfolk, Virginia, getting a few showers, and as well through Philadelphia and PA area there, all the way up there through New York. Some thunderstorms up there near Burlington. As we cut across the top portion, Kansas getting some showers this morning. As we back out to show you this, overall, we do have fog out in Seattle, down around Sacramento, San Francisco, a few light showers today. New Mexico, Santa Fe. I think the Bellamy Brothers had a song about that one time. A little fog there as well. Back through Arkansas in these areas here, just hot weather as we look at this. Boy, be prepared for all this. All right, let's get into what the National Weather Service is telling us to expect today and how it will affect you.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The record highs, record lows, it was 06 that was 101. We could beat that today. We'll see. Today's record low was set back in 52 with a record low of 52 on this June day. As we move forward, there is a chance of some isolated showers, about a 20% chance as we watch this, but overall sunny and hot today. As we look at Meridian to be 101, 99 through the Philadelphia area and up through Mississippi State on up to Columbus. Out west, cooler in Vicksburg, if you can call that cool, 98. Down to Natchez, 97. And Hattiesburg all the way toward the coast will be a little bit warmer in our areas there. As we move across, just hot all across Alabama. Demopolis, Selma, Montgomery hits 101 today. Ooh, boy, Auburn, maybe 98. We'll watch that. Possible showers in the lower portion of Alabama there, lower Alabama, if you refer to L.A. as that. As we look at the heat wave, and this is the breakdown of what we've got from Vicksburg all the way through Natchez down around Hattiesburg is the warmer part of the state today. Now, they're expecting 110 in these areas here. Our East Mississippi side all the way through Jackson and northward of the state will see about 105 is what we expect. I'm not saying it can't go faster than that or hotter than that. Sandra, yesterday, 112 yesterday. Woo. Boy, that's pretty strong there. That's a lot there. Appreciate that comment. Way too hot. As we look at this is what's going to be happening over the weekend. It gets worse Friday and Saturday. And look at Sunday as this. Just about the entire state of Mississippi will move to that elevated 110-degree mark. Be careful, again, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. If you could postpone your work, do that. Do it at a different time. It's just going to be miserable for us. There's no other way to put it. As we look at all of this, we are going to get that break next week as we'll dip down into the lower 90s. It'll almost make you think it's a cool summer evening, won't it? Maybe fall weather at 90. It's all a joke, but it is better than 101. As we look at the breakdown of it, 101 today, 101 Friday, Saturday. Look at that temperature. 103 predicted. This could be a record breaker for us on Saturday. Hot, hot, and more hot. 99 on Sunday. And as I mentioned, a little bit cooler, almost 10 degrees cooler next week as we saw that on the cold front moving through. We do get that rain chance on Monday through Wednesday there. Let's go ahead and jump in another week there. 93, and then by the weekend, we start seeing the temperature start to climb again. But we'll get 3 or 4 days there to where it's a little bit better. That's what we're looking for. We'd like that. As we go to the tropics, nothing happening out in the Gulf, which is great news. Not for the next 5 days at least. As we jump forward and take a look at what's happening, Thursday misspelled there, isn't it? June 23rd. Best fishing times brought to you by Chet's Paint and Body. Hope you can get a chance to go out today. 8:52 this morning, between 9 and 11. Now that kind of falls into that hot time there. Be careful if you're going out fishing. The wind's going to be light and variable, becoming north 5 to 10 today if you're going to be out hitting those fishing holes. Hope you can. Enjoy yourself. Have fun with it. That's a quick look at everything this morning. And again, we're about an hour and 2 minutes away as we'll bring you a morning show. Candace will come in, and then we'll get ready for Michael Cassidy to come in and answer questions as we've got the big runoff coming up on the 28th. Look forward to this. Some good questions. I got a few typed out. Maybe I remember what I'm supposed to ask, but we want your questions as well. That all begins, mark it down, hour and 1 minute from now. We'll see you back live. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this morning and bringing it to you live every day. Big thank you to all the sponsors as well. We'll see you back soon as we begin this Thursday here, the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: